By the mid-1980s, personal computers were becoming more common. But to connect, you had to use a telephone line. Software was primitive, and cell phones were, well, they were the size of a suitcase. And the World Wide Web, WWW, did not come into existence until 1989. As machines became more sophisticated, the word Internet began to creep into our collective vocabulary.
Allison, can you explain what Internet is?
That was 1994, 26 years after the Internet first came to be. In 1997, fully half the households in America which were connected to the Internet were using AOL.
You've got mail.
America Online. We were getting connected by the millions, oftentimes to complete strangers. Cupid was online too.
He did not know how old I was until the day before we met.
She used to just say, oh, I'm a few years older, I'm a few years older.
And where all those people were gathered, there was money to be made.
Investors are really trying to hitch their wagon to all things Internet.
Suddenly, the words Silicon Valley were on everyone's lips.
Internet companies are the hottest and most profitable investments in a generation.
And in the year 2000, the dot-com bubble burst.
Most dot-com retail companies will be out of business by next year.
But while investors cried over their losses, inventors and entrepreneurs kept improving ways to use the Internet.
The Google search engine has gotten so popular, it's given rise to something called Googling. That's where you type in the name of a friend to see how many times he or she shows up on the Internet. And then there's self-Googling, where you type in your own name, G-E-O.
The power and speed of the Internet made a lot of things obsolete. A show of hands, please, for all who remember encyclopedias. Among the books you no longer bought were the ones sold in stores.
We're trying to create something entirely new, something that the world hasn't seen before.
First a bookseller, then a purveyor of just about everything.
Actually, all orders do need to be placed online.
Thanks to or because of the Internet, Amazon has moved into our households.
Alexa, how many ounces are in a cup?
It's worth noting how the popularity of the name Alexa has dropped significantly. By the mid-2000s, smartphones exploded into the marketplace. The first iPhone?
There we go, right there.
In 2007. Just about that time, Facebook entered the scene.
Connecting with friends is something that everyone needs to do, and Facebook lets people in all different demographics all over the world do that.
Connectivity. We wonder if 50 years ago anyone imagined an America where we spend so much time on screens, as much as 12 hours a day, including TV. The first electronic connector was Samuel Morse. His message across a telegraph line in 1866, "What hath God wrought?" What indeed?
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.